Hello and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to use or how to create an ultimate slicer panel, alright, in Power BI. Now you might be asking what a slicer panel is. Excuse me. Now what a slicer panel does is that it helps you to group or categorize. It actually helps you to group your slices. Alright, there are slicer features in Power BI, and what a slicer panel does is that it helps you to group these slices under one roof, all right, so that you can either decide to, if you are not going to use the slices, hide them, and then when and as you want to use the slices, you can just reveal the slices and use the ones that you want to use, rather than just leaving your slices all over the page. Because as a Power BI developer, as a data analyst or business analyst, it's important that your dashboard is always clean and presentable. And sometimes your managers might also want to have the opportunity to use a lot of slices. But if you just pay attention to that and leave your slices spread across on your dashboard, that could also take a lot of space and a lot of time, making your dashboard look a lot cumbersome, all right, and very messy. And so the slicer panel comes in to help you group your slices, all of your slices that you like to use, group them under one roof, and then as and when you want to use them, you can just reveal them and get them used by whoever that wants to use them. All right. And so in today's video, that's what we are going to be working on. I'm going to be teaching you how to prepare that ultimate slicer panel that you can use in Power BI, and I'll be taking you through exactly what I mean by whatever that I'm saying and how it's actually built. And so if there's something that you're interested in, join me as I take you through this. Let's jump right in. Okay, and so this is my Power BI report view, okay, on my Power BI report page, okay, and you can see right over here that we have the data set I'll be working with, but we are not actually working with a lot of data set because this is going to be a very short video, okay. And so let's assume this is your data set, and in this particular data set you are looking to, or your manager has asked you to create slices from these columns, okay. So you have this, okay, and excuse me, you have this, and this is a slicer, all right. So you are creating a slicer for this. Now let me go and then quickly format this slicer, okay. Let me just do that right away. So let me bring this up here, um a minute. So let me take this up here a little bit, okay. And so now we can come down here, and I'm just formatting this slicer so that you get an idea of what I'm saying, okay. So this, like so, all right. So let's say this is our slicer, all right. So this is our first slicer. Now we can just decrease it and just make it one item in the slicer. So this is slicer, all right. And then we can just come here, and then so this is simply formatting, reduce the gap, all right. And then for the overflow, we can just make it stylish, all right. So for the overflow, excuse me, we can just make this paginated, all right, and then vertically or horizontally, excuse me, so that when we are shifting to the next item that we want to filter on the next item in this particular column, we can just go here and then we can do the filtering, all right. Okay, and so let's say we have this, all right. We are done with one of these items that we want to be using as our slicer, and then this is the second one, okay. And so this is the second item, twist it, so this is not really showing, all right. So twist region, this is also not showing, but that's fine. So we are just looking for the slices, okay. So twist it, slicer. So again we have this, so it's just TN, okay. And yeah, we can just format paint this to be exactly like this, okay. And now we have this, so we can maybe add tweet topic, okay, to this, and this is also a slicer, all right. So we can just copy this, all right, and then paste this, okay. So these are three slices, but let's say there's more, okay. There are more slices, all right, and that is what I want us to look at. So there are more slices, so there's a fourth one, and all of these slices, let's assume that management says they are important. It's important that we have all of these slices, and then we have the category slicer, all right. So management is saying that all of these slices are important to have, okay. All right, so we have all of these slices. So these are the 5 slices that we want to have, all right. So these are the 5 slices that we are supposed to have. And once you have your slices and you want to use a slicer panel or the filter panel, it's important that you have them arranged properly and in a particular corner. All right, you have them arranged properly in the particular color, a particular corner, a corner where whenever you release or you want to see your slides, it's not going to affect the main work. All right, so you group them in that particular that particular corner. All right, so you can either do it vertically or horizontally, really doesn't matter, but you need to have them in a corner where if you release them, okay, it's not going to affect the entire data set. And you need to have arranged them properly. All right, do your formatting and everything, let them look nice, because especially if you are presenting to management, all right, let them look nice, okay, so that when they come out, everybody says, all right, so this indeed are the filters, and they can do whatever they want to do. Okay, so now these are our slices. All right, now one thing you need to keep in mind is that if you have about 10 slices that management would like to use, if you continue doing this is going to take the entire page. It's either going to take the entire first row, or it's going to take the entire first column. And if slices alone is taking this much space, then you should know that you are not going to have a lot of space to work on the other things, all right, or to prepare your other visualization, especially if management has made it clear that they only want you to use one page. All right, and that's why the slicer panel, comes in. And so now that we have our slices, now I'm just going to say, all right, so I have my slices, but I don't want to see these slices. I don't want them to be all over the place, making the whole dashboard messy, making it look as if it's only slices that I know. All right, so I want to have my slices, but I want to hide my slices. All right, so that I only use them as and when I want to use my slices. Okay, and so now once you have created your slices and you've selected everything that you want to have selected, okay, now what you are going to do is that you have to group all of the slices. All right, so there's something called grouping, all right, or selection. If you come to the view page, you can see right on top here we have selection. All right, now in order to do that, you have to have selected whatever that you are looking for. In this case, we are selecting all of our slices. Now one good thing that you can do is that in order to organize your slices properly and well, we can use what we call the shapes. All right, so you can use the shapes. Okay, and what the shapes will do is that we are just going to cover the entire slices with the shapes. All right, so I'm going to go this way and I'm going to go this way. All right, and then I'm going to select everything, make sure it covers all of my slices, and then once I'm done, I'm going to go to style and then remove the fill so that I can see my slices in the shape. All right, so now I can see my slices in the shape. All right, so once I have all of these and I've organized everything, what I'm going to do is that, because in this particular scenario, if you try to click on the slicer, it's not going to work because the shape is actually in front. So the shape is going to take the opportunity that the slicers will have been clicked rather than the shape. Okay, and so once the shape is covering all of them, you need to go to format and then go to send back, so that we can send the shape backwards. So we are sending the shape back. And now if you click outside and go back inside, now you have the option to click on the slicer. Whereas before, if you go in there, you only have the option to click on the slicer. You only have the option to click on the shape. Okay, and so now that we have this, what we are going to do is that now I'm going to select everything. Okay, so I'm just going to select my entire thing. Okay, so let me bring this down a little bit. Okay, like so. All right, and so now you can see that I'm unable to go, so now I can select everything. So now I can select all of them, the shape included. So now I've selected everything, all of the filters with the shape included. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and I'm going to get this. So once you get this, you go to group and then you group everything. And so now it's assumed that this whole thing has been grouped as one. All right, so this entire thing, instead of it being 6 separate items, it has been grouped and now it's just one whole item. Do you understand? So now this is one whole item. And so now that we have grouped this, we can just go to our view. And once you go to your view, you go to bookmark. All right, now before you go to bookmark, let's go to our selection and see. So when we come to our selection, you can see that we have the group one. So this group is this entire thing. All right, so this entire thing has been grouped and it has been grouped as group one. And so if you click on this item here, you can see that all of the slices, all right, and the shape are all grouped as group one. So these items are the filters. So if I come here, you can see it's showing red over here. If I come here, if I come to the second one, you can also see that's also showing red over there. And the third one is also showing red over there. All right. And so we are able to group the whole thing as one. All right. So now that we have this, now what we are going to do is that we have the option to hide this visual. So if I click on this, it's hiding the visual. And if I turn this back on, the visual is on. All right. And so what we are going to do now that we've gotten here is that I'm going to select this. So now that it's off, I'm going to open my bookmark. So this is a bookmark I've selected. So I'm going to open my bookmark and I'm going to hit on add. And what I'm going to do is that I'm now going to change or rename this title, and I'm going to say, all right, so this is going to be filter panel or slicer panel off or closed, however you want to call it. That is fine by you. So however, we whether filter panel off, filter panel close, slicer panel off, slicer panel close, that is all on you. So once I'm done, I'm going to hit on enter. Okay, and so now that I've clicked on enter, now I need to add another bookmark where when I click on that, my slicer panels are going to be turned on. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to come back here to this, and I'm going to click on this, and then now it's back on. So now that it's back on, now I'm going to give it another bookmark, and I'm going to say, all right, so with this I'm just going to say filter panel on. All right, and then I'm going to click on enter, so that when I click on the filter panel off, it goes right off. So it hides everything. And if I click on the filter panel on, everything shows. All right, so this is the first step, or the second step, probably. Yeah, so the second step to our ultimate slicer panel. All right, so now we've created bookmarks for the filter panel on and the filter panel off, but that is not all. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is that now that we've created this, if we are to turn it off and on, then we need to go to the bookmarks and turn it back on and off, which can be so tiring. So what we can do is that we can replace the bookmarks with an image, an item, or whatever that we want to replace it with. In this particular case, we can replace it with a picture. All right, so I've already downloaded some pictures. Now you can download any picture of your choice, all right, that you want to represent the slicer panels with. All right, that is mainly on you. Okay, any picture at all. So I'm going to come in here, and the pictures that I'm going to select, so this is a picture, so we are just bringing in some pictures inside there. All right, so let me take this up again, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go to my picture, and I'm going to select the picture that I want. Okay, and so I'm going to come here, and let's say so the picture that we want in this particular case, so let's use males and females. All right, let me just show you that you can use any picture at all. So you're using males and females. Okay, so I have my female here, and I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to select a new image that's going to be for the males. All right, so I have my females. I've selected my first picture, and like I said, it could be any picture at all. All right, and so we are just using males and females as examples. Okay, so I have this and I have that. All right, so now I have these two as my pictures. Okay, all right, so now what I want to say is that if I'm to click on this, I want this entire slicer panel to go off, just like we did, or as you saw with the filter panel, that this is off, all right, and then this is on. But because we can't always be coming here, we are representing that with these. Okay, and so when I click on the woman's picture, I want everything to disappear or to hide. All right, so everything here will hide behind this picture, and then if I click on this, everything should be revealed. All right, so that we can just have these two representing the entire slicer. All right, and so what are we going to do? So now I'm going to come here, click on this picture, and once I click on the picture, I'm going to give it an action. So I'm going to turn on this action, and I'm going to come down here, and we have action, we have the type. So I'm going to click on the type, and since this is bookmark, you saw we have, so when you come here, the type, you have bookmarks, page navigations. I have a video on page navigations, all right, and all of that. But in this particular case, we are looking at bookmarks because it's bookmarks that we are using to hide this entire filter or slicer panels. All right, so I'm going to click on my bookmark, and then once I click on my bookmark, it's going to ask me what bookmark am I looking at. All right, and already there is at none. All right, already is at none. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the none, and I'm going to say, all right, so if I click on this, what I actually want to see is that I want to see everything on. All right, I want to see everything, that's this entire slicer, I want to see it back on. Okay, and then if I click on this, I want to see everything back off. all right, or I want to see everything disappear. So I'm going to click on that again. I'm going to select bookmark, and this time instead of on, I'm going to go to off. All right, so the off for this and then the on for the female. All right, and so now that I've done this, I'm done. So I can just simply come here to the woman's corner, and I'm going to say, all right, control this. Okay, or which one did we say? Let me see which ones we selected again. So this is for control, this is for the off, the filter panel off. Okay, so I'm going to now go and say, all right, control, click, and then this whole thing, the whole filter panel is going to disappear or is going to hide. And if I want them, because I want to use them, I can just come here and I'm going to say control and then click, and then my filter panels are going to show, and then I can just use them as I want to use them, all right, to do whatever that I want to do. And then if I want to go back, once I'm done using them, if I want to hide them again so that they don't appear everywhere, I can just go back to the image that I gave bookmark for the filter panel off on, and I'm going to hit on control. So you can see up ahead that it's saying control plus click here to follow. And so once you've given it an action, so I'm going to control and then click it, and then it's off, and then control and this, click it, and then it's back on. All right, and so this is a simpler way on how to prepare your own slicer panel, all right, in Power BI, all right, and so that you're able to hide your filters when you don't want to use them, and then when you want to use them, you can just bring them back on and then use them, all right, in order to have enough space for your other visualizations. Okay, and so once you have this, you can just make this smaller. So once you have this, you can just make it smaller and hide it somewhere on your report view. So you can just make it smaller to take just a small space and hide it somewhere on your report view, all right, like so it doesn't have to be big, and then we can just continue to do whatever you want to do. So I want to see it is on, I don't want to see it is off, all right, as simple as that. And so that is how the filter panel, all right, is made or is prepared. Okay, and so if you see me doing something like this in subsequent videos, you don't need to be scared, because this simply how is that. Okay, and so yes, without much ado, I do hope this video was helpful. If this was something that you didn't know or you had no idea of, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, because that makes me think far and wide to bring in some new thoughts as to what you people might know and what people might not know. All right, and so yes, without much ado, I'll say thank you for being here, thank you for watching my videos, and don't forget, all right, or be sure to hit on the subscribe button so that you join the Nakama, all right, and so that if I upload any new video like this, you will once again be the first to be notified. Hit on the like button if you enjoyed this video, all right, and do well to take care of yourself. Be safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right.